Hey guys, DJ AJ back with you here again, and 101 time with you and I with the review for you of the Samsung Chromebook. Again, this is the Chromebook that I unboxed earlier on my channel. This is, I believe, Samsung's one of their first generation Chromebooks because they have the Chromebook 2 out now. This is the one just before that one. I'm not exactly sure how many they brought out, but this is the one before the Chromebook 2 that is now. This is actually a refurbished Chromebook, and I actually have it right here with me. Nice small little computer. I've really enjoyed using this thing, and I'm here again today with a review for you guys. Just kind of going over a quick rundown of the specifications, exactly what you're getting here. If you do want more information, I did do a bit of a rundown in my unboxing. Again, it's on my channel. I will leave a link in the description below where you guys can check out the unboxing for yourselves if you want to happen to do that, as well as watch this review. That would also be awesome. Thank you very much. Again, running down the quick specifications that are right over here on my side. It has a dual-core 1.7 gigahertz processor, 2 gigabytes of DDR3L memory. Again, very good if you are multitasking on this little computer. An 11.6-inch backlit HD display, 1366 by 768, so 720p HD resolution at the very minimum if you're talking TV resolutions. Integrated graphics, and of course 802.11 ABG and N wireless networking, as well as 16 gigabytes of eMMC SSD that's built in, soldered right to the board. You can't get it out. Of course, built right in to this Chromebook. But what exactly do all those specifications and the peripherals that you can hook up to this Chromebook mean to real-world use? Well, first and foremost, I'm going to talk about what I really liked about the Chromebook. Again, I'm really assuming that you guys have an idea of what the Chromebook is. Again, it's pretty much Google Chrome on like not an iPad Air, a MacBook Air, like an 11-inch MacBook Air, like I happen to have right here, just simply not as expensive. Again, this is a premium quality product, and starting off, I think, is probably one of the biggest things. Again, I did get this refurbished. I'm going to leave the link below where you can pick one up for yourself. Not quite sure exactly how long in the future you guys are watching this. They might not even have them available anymore, but you're able to pick this up for $130 from TigerDirect.com. And again, I'm going to leave a link for any of you that are interested in buying it. Again, it's really cheap. Essentially, it's Samsung putting the hardware together, and the Chrome OS is free on top of it, and it's probably one of the best things about it. And not only is the Chrome OS free, you get instant updates, so you can't necessarily download and get viruses because it's not a full-fledged OS like OS 10 and Windows are. So you really have a lot of stability, and not only that, you get a lot of benefits because you don't have to worry about the thing getting a virus or slowing down. Essentially, it's all built off that flash memory architecture, and it's just a very light OS on a computer that's running very simple, not very powerful hardware, but it's quite snappy in the performance, especially when you take out the bottlenecks that you could potentially have in a computer like a hard disk drive and an optical drive. Again, all wireless, built for the wireless world, and very nice to be able to use on the go and have that instant on gratification. That's another thing I really liked about it. You open up the display, the computer instantly turns on, you're ready to go in 15 seconds. It is very quick. You log in and you're set, and you don't even need an internet connection to do that. You can log in, and any online or offline, I should say, applications that you have, access them right away. So if you have an application that's an offline app that you like doing, like Google Docs as an example, typing up your report, you're able to do that right away, and you don't need an internet connection to essentially make that possible and make that happen. It's very small, it's compact. Again, I really like the MacBook Air, the 11-inch MacBook Air in that case, because it was so small. Again, this is essentially running a browser, and it's probably a quarter of the price, probably even less than a quarter of the price of the MacBook Air on that. Huge point that I really enjoyed using was the HDMI output that you can hook up to an external monitor or even a television. You get a full resolution HD output. I was trying it on my HTV back there, so you get full 1920 by 1080 display. Looks really crisp, really smooth. You're able to browse the web and do anything that you would like. And not only that, if you're watching perhaps videos on Netflix or YouTube, you also get full audio out as well, so you don't have to worry about the tiny speakers in the Chromebook, as always having to use those to do that. And not only that, with HDMI out, if you want to use this as a desktop computer, you are more than welcome to do so, and it's so simple to do that as well. You're able to just close the lid, and if you have an external keyboard or mouse that's Bluetooth, or maybe just a wired keyboard and mouse that you want to hook into the USB ports, it works great. You just close it, and you're able to browse on your external monitor and use it just as a desktop replacement. Of course, you'd probably get more speed and power out of a desktop, but we'll get to that in the cons here in just a little bit of things that I really wish it did do a bit better. But as far as a desktop replacement, it's actually really nice if you're just a normal person who does web browsing. Works insanely well for that. Not only that, USB 3 and an SD card reader. Again, you have that fast, SD card that you're able to get your pictures onto the computer, or I should say USB 3 because that's actually faster than USB 2. So it's a very fast input output. What you really wouldn't expect because this computer is really built for wireless and mobile. But you do have those options if you would like to use them. So 2 USB ports, 1 USB 2 and 1 USB 3. But again, full keyboard and trackpad as well. So very good to type on, just like any other small, netbook quality computer, except that you are getting that full keyboard. That's one of the things when I did own my netbook, I really missed full keyboard and a decent sized trackpad, so you can actually do something with it and you don't have to have little tiny fingers to actually try to use that as well. And again, the keyboard itself is specifically designed around Chrome. You get search, page back, page forward, refresh, etc. You get all these designated keys that are specifically built for a browser in mind, so you don't necessarily have to have like the caps lock button and a lot of the F keys that are your function controls that you'd have to program. They're just automatically built for Google Chrome in mind. Very nice that they've done that. And not only that, you have SSD storage on board. Again, that's 16 gigabytes, which is a bit small, but it is there and it is fast. So you launch Chrome and everything, because it pretty much launches in Chrome, is very quick. So SSD storage, just a very, like Chrome OS, launches the apps very quickly, and that's very nice. And because you might be worried about storage, 16 gigabytes isn't all that much. I will fully admit that if you start putting stuff on this computer, like your photos as an example. You also have 100 gigabytes of Google Drive on the cloud up there, so it's all safe and secure on Google servers. And not only that, you get that free for 2 years. So you can actually own this Chromebook for 2 years, keep all your stuff on Google Drive, and it'll be all safe and stored in the cloud. Even if you happen to lose your computer, it's all safe and stored up in Google Drive. So again, I hope you guys, didn't mind me running through all those things. There's quite a bit of things to cover with this Chromebook that are actually very good, that make it unique. It makes it a unique product. It's not, like a Microsoft Surface or a MacBook Air. It really is its own identity. But again, along with all the positives that I've definitely enjoyed using it for, a lot of things in my mind that I would say this is why I had to take this computer out with me on this day-to-day basis, because I'd use this. There are a few things that I did, notice, especially if you are coming from something like a Microsoft Surface or a MacBook Air that you, of course, have paid more money for. You definitely see some of the drawbacks of the hardware in this thing, specifically to get it down to that price point. Again, this computer started off, I think a year or two ago, at about $200, $250. So it did start off a bit more than what it is now for this refurbished computer. But again, you are going to notice screen quality. One of the biggest things I did notice is that the screen is definitely washed out. It's not as good as it could be. Color accuracy, things like that. So if you are a professional photo editor, don't take this as the computer to use. Definitely get a better computer that has better screen quality and also better color correction, so you're able to get those true colors, especially if you're doing this for work. You want a better computer. Again, this is primarily for your basic browsing, and playing back some light video. Another thing is that the HD video playback, speaking of the screen, isn't always 100% great. I mean, you will notice stuttering from time to time. Again, it's very low powered hardware. It's not the best hardware. It's pretty much you're paying for the hardware when you buy the computer, and there's very little profit made on it. And the integrated graphics are quite weak when it comes to video playback. Playing back music actually was fine through my Rhapsody account, streaming music online. That's perfect. But if you are going to be doing HD video playback, it can handle it. Can even handle on an external display. I did try it on the TV and it worked. I think it worked pretty good. But again, you will notice some of the jarring and jitteries when you are playing back that video, simply because the hardware is not sufficient enough to necessarily handle everything in that manner. So it is, good to keep that in mind. SD card reader, it was a bit slower than I would have liked. I was trying to import pictures from an SD card from my T3i and was quite slow. I mean, especially just trying to read it off the card, as I would here on my iMac that I'm using to record this. Much speedier. You're able to import, blah, 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 view them, etc. And on the Chromebook, quite a bit slower. Again, I'm thinking this is a hardware thing, very low cost hardware, definitely not as fast when it comes to the SD card. No backlit keyboard is kind of a bummer, especially if you're used to a MacBook Air like myself, or if you're coming from a higher end computer that has a backlit keyboard. In the dark, it definitely makes a huge bit of difference, because you could be sitting in bed and just kind of typing away at your keyboard, and if you're kind of a touch typist where you want to see exactly what your functions are, because this is kind of a keyboard designed behind Google Chrome and alongside Google Chrome, I should say. It is nice to have that backlit keyboard, especially in the dark, but not that big of a deal if you're going to be using it on a fairly regular basis in the bright lit room category like I am right now. Trackpad is not as precise as well. Keep this in mind, this is a cheap computer. I'm going to say that again for like the millionth time. A trackpad could be better, but again, very low cost hardware. Not necessarily a huge problem, but you might want to tweak it a bit to what you might like, or maybe just use an external mouse with it if you are using it on a desk primarily. Most of the time that'll actually work out quite nice as well. Webcam, I wouldn't even want to talk about it. It does include one. It's basically your cell phone from 2005. It is that bad. It's not good at all. Would not recommend for using it for anything other than maybe showing your friends that it looks horrible. But other than that, it's not usable. It's you could do a hangout with it, but your video quality would probably look worse than anybody else's. So wouldn't recommend using the webcam, but you do get that included along with a microphone. Again, and 16 gigabytes of onboard storage. Again, not really enough, but that Google Drive, 100 gigabytes of Google Drive for 2 years definitely compensates that. And I'm not sure what they do after 2 years, if they just take it away or if they get rid of your data. I haven't necessarily looked into that. And again, if you are keeping this thing for 2 years, you could actually just buy another Chromebook and then up your Google Drive for 2 years, because I'm sure they're going to keep that going, try to get you in the door, say, hey, we'll give you free storage on the cloud if you get a Chromebook, and you can use it through your Google Drive on any one of your computers. You just got to have, this piece of hardware right here. So again, tied with your account. So that, again, is quite nice to have that storage, but again, onboard storage is quite small. Again, you can compensate that with a USB 3 stick or SD card that you can actually put into the side of this computer. Now, what it all comes down to is I've run through all my pros and all my cons. Do I recommend this computer? It kind of depends on who you are. I mean, if you're just a casual web browser that you want to go out and about to Starbucks or to McDonald's and take this computer with you and hop on your, the free Wi-Fi they have there and kind of browse the web, watch an occasional video. I wouldn't buy it, necessarily directly for watching HD videos or Netflix, but you can do it, and it's pretty decent at that. I think this computer is actually going to be great for you. If you live in Google's ecosystem, this computer is going to be outstanding for you because it has all the Google services integrated, Docs, calendars, Gmail, the whole 9 yards. Again, it's really based around web-centric mentality and lifestyle. So if you are a Google fanatic, if you are a Google lover, if you have the Android phone and the Android tablet, this is actually probably going to be the perfect fit for you, just like in an Apple ecosystem, an iPhone, an iPad, and a MacBook would be a perfect fit for you. Again, I've really enjoyed using this, and if you are in that category, it's going to fit you great. Is it going to fit you great if you do a lot of video editing, a lot of picture taking and editing, if you like to do a lot of multimedia watching, YouTube, Netflix? I would definitely step it up to a computer that has more power and probably a full-fledged operating system on it from Apple or Microsoft as an example. It's going to offer you a lot more benefit, especially when it comes to doing heavy CPU tasks, and that's going to be a big beneficiary to you guys that really want to do that. And I think the lower price point doesn't necessarily justify if you are going to be doing that all the time, because you're not going to be happy with it. It's not going to fit your use case. But other than that, I very much recommend it. I mean, for $130, it's probably the cheapest computer you could possibly buy. I think this is even cheaper than a netbook that you could run Windows on, and it does a much better job at the web apps, than what a Chromebook, sorry, a netbook would do back in the day. So again, I do recommend this, even if it's just a secondary computer and you're just like browsing on the couch as you're watching TV. This computer is going to be outstanding for you. As a secondary machine, I cannot recommend it enough. If you're going to do it your primary machine, yeah, I'd make sure that at least that, you know, all you do is check your email, browse the web, online shopping. You're heavily involved with Google Docs because that's going to do you well with typing, you know, your reports and your papers, etc. I know a lot of schools give out Chromebooks, so they're already introducing students to that concept. But, you know, if you do a lot more CPU heavy tasks, video editing, this is not going to be the computer for you. But I think if you're looking for a great secondary machine, you just like to get out there and just use it for some light purposes, it's going to fit you great. I give it 2 thumbs up for that. It's definitely worked in that situation and that use case for me. So again, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, links will be below for the unboxing video that you guys might want to check out that I've done. Again, please feel free to do that, as well as the links. You guys can pick this up for yourself if it's still available from Tiger Direct for $130. Again, great price point. If you guys did happen to enjoy this video as well, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. I certainly appreciate that. Helps the channel out, you know, tremendously with your guys' support, as well as feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and as well check out my past, present, and future videos on my channel. Try to make a little bit of everything in our technology world, the unboxings, the reviews, everything from Apple's to Microsoft's to Google's to anybody else's innovations that I might happen to find interesting and want to share with you guys. So I hope you enjoy, because I certainly enjoy sharing it with you guys, my thoughts and opinions. But again, guys, that's going to do it here for me today. Please leave a comment below what you guys think about this Chromebook, if you guys are going to be happen to pick one up for yourself. And have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great one till then, guys.